Hey everyone, it's Doubtfull here, and I'm going to be showing you how to play Hecarim. I'm going to be going over a few of the basics in the practice tool, and then I'm going to be showing you how it looks all put together in the real game. And if you watch this entire video, you should have everything that you need to get started on Hecarim. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Hecarim's passive, he gains additional attack damage based on the amount of movement speed that he has. So I'm currently gaining 4 because of water walking. Hecarim's Q is called Rampage, and he deals AoE damage in this circle here. And if it hits something, he gains a stack of Rampage, which decreases the cooldown by 1 second, and it increases the damage. Now, this is probably the main thing that you want to know and focus on as Hecarim is keeping up these Rampage stacks. You can sort of see it right there. And every time I Q, it goes up, and now it's at 2, and that's the maximum. And now our Q is on a 2 second shorter cooldown. So now I'm clearing the camps a lot faster than I was before. This is really, really important when fighting and skirmishing with Hecarim, and I'll show you more of that later when I get into an actual game, but it's definitely just something you want to keep in mind. All right, Hecarim's W is called Spirit of the Dread, and you can see it does a really wide AoE heal like this, and it heals, it deals magic damage, and it heals you for 30% of the damage that enemies take. So from any source, so even if your allies are damaging enemies, it would heal you as well. This is really important for team fighting. You go in and engage, and if your team's fighting as well, you'll heal a bunch. And it's also used to sustain up in your jungle. Hecarim's E is called Devastating Charge. It gives you a burst of movement speed, scaling up from 25% to 65% over 4 seconds. And it knocks back the target when it lands. So you use this to sort of go in between camps, which you'll see when I show you the clear in a little bit here, and also to CC your targets. And for Hecarim's last ability, it is his ult, Onslaught of Shadows. And you can see sort of the range here. It does a bunch of magic damage and fears targets at the end in a circle. You can see that circle around me. That's sort of the range of the fear. And it fears for 0.75 to 2 seconds based on the charge distance. So if I get a max range R, it should fear this for like 2 seconds. And it's an extremely, it fears for longer because it's Scuttle Crab, and Scuttle Crab gets CC'd for longer. But but yes, so the R is an extremely impactful ability for ganking, for team fighting. It's just pretty much one of the main things that makes Hecarim really, really strong. All right, so before I go on at all here, I want to show you how to do the R combo, I guess we'll call it, and it's pretty simple. The ER combo, you just cast your E, and then you can cast your ult and sort of fear them away from you, and then you chain your E to push them into your team. So say, let me add some more dummies so we can maybe make this look a little more realistic. Okay, so say like this is the enemy team right here, and my teams are here. Obviously, people are going to be moving, so this is much harder to do in an actual game. But say that's the enemy team, and my team is like somewhere over here. We can use our E, R here to fear them all away. Now they're dummies, so they won't actually move, but they'll be feared this way, this way, this way, away from me, and then this will be knocked into my team, and I'll also be pushed away from all of these guys. So it's an incredibly powerful engage tool that you can use. It is a pretty obvious engage though, so if your target has flash or like a mobility spell, that's something you need to be aware of. But that is pretty much it for all of Hecarim's abilities. I'm gonna really quickly run you through his first clear. Okay, so one of the most powerful things about Hecarim is his clear speed. He just clears the jungle incredibly fast and healthy, more so than most junglers in the game. So first I'm going to show you this clear here. A lot of times you're going to want to start on your red and just simply do a full clear to your blue and Gromp, and then you should end up at Scuttle Crab right when it spawns, with your Rampage stacks as well. I'm not doing this clear very well, but you sort of get the idea. You'll have a leash in a real game and it'll go a lot better than this. But this is a pretty standard clear that you can do for Hecarim. I do it in a lot of my games, but it does have one really big weakness, and that is that you can get invaded when you're doing your blue and Gromp at the same time. So if you're against a jungler who is likely to invade you, like a Graves or an Olaf, you're going to want to consider doing a different, less obvious path that isn't as susceptible to being invaded on. And there's a few different things you can do. You could just start on your blue, and you're probably a lot less likely to get invaded on your red, but that is a little bit slower. But it just depends. You could also like skip your wolves here and just take the blast cone over and then do blue and Gromp. That could be pretty fast as well. It's possible to keep your rampage stacks in between these camps here, but I'm not going to try to do this perfectly. It's kind of hard when I'm talking like this, but this is just a general idea of what the clear should look like. And again, I didn't get a leash here, and I didn't do it near close to perfectly. So in a real game, it would be a lot faster, hopefully, than what I'm showing you here. But yeah, as you can see, usually in a real game, I'll smite that a little bit later. But yeah, you're very susceptible to an invade right here. It's happened to me a few times, so you want to make sure you play around that against those invading junglers. But then usually you'll come here right as Scuttle Crab spawning, and I have my rampage stacks, so if I run into the enemy jungler, there's pretty much no way they can win. I'm full HP, I'm level 4, and I've got my rampage stacked, so you win pretty much any skirmish in the game there. Now again, alternatively, you're starting on blue, Gromp, wolves. You can sort of pretty easily carry the wolf rampage stacks like to route here, then kill the wolf, and then go here, 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 and be at Scuttle Crab. It just really depends on the matchup, and even really the side of the map you are. But yeah, usually you want to start on red against those invading junglers, maybe do something else. So that is going to be it for all of my basic explanations. Now I'm going to jump into a real game and sort of show you what this all looks like when put together. Okay, so this is a game that I just recently played on this patch, and I'm just going to be running through, showing you everything that I'm doing, what I'm thinking, and hopefully this gives you everything you need to play Hecarim. I'm not going to be fast forwarding through anything, so feel free to like speed this up because some parts might not have that much information, but I know a lot of people want to see like my pathing at every moment. At least that's what I like to watch when I'm trying to learn a champion and improve. So right off the bat here, I ask my bot lane to ward that bush where you're seeing a pinging right now. And that's because I'm against a Jarvan. This isn't really a Hecarim thing. This is just a fun little bonus tip. Against Jarvan, a lot of times they'll like to go red into a level 2 gank mid, especially against an immobile laner like Orianna and someone with CC setup like Silas. So I asked them to drop that ward there, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get started on my red. Shen gives a pretty good leash, and I don't think that Jarvan's gonna like invade me. I don't know, maybe he will. I don't play against Jarvan very much. He's not very popular, at least at the time of me making this video. My runes, since you're probably curious, I'm taking Phase Rush, Nimbus Cloak, Celerity, Water Walking, and then in my secondaries, I'm running, I want to say I ran Triumph and Tenacity this game. Another option is, gosh, what is that one called? The dash that gives you like lethality and magic pen. That one's pretty good, and Ravenous Hunter. But generally speaking, if the enemy team has any CC, I usually go Tenacity rune, because you pretty much always want to build. I don't want to talk about build too much in this video because that's subject to change over the course of the year. I'm sure it will. If you have any questions about the builds, what you should be building it on Hecarim, feel free to like join my Discord and ask the community there or myself. It's pretty active, so you should get a response about what to build on Hecarim and what runes to take at the time. So I got a little bit distracted, but I believe on that ward we saw Jarvan heading towards my blue. So because of that, I walk over here and sweep to make sure they don't have vision. And then I'm just going to take all of these camps. I took Krugs, so I go for wolves. Unfortunately, my bot lane, some bad stuff ends up happening here with my bot lane. We knew that Jarvan could probably gank bottom here, but unfortunately, they dodged the gank, but then we teleport, they all died, whatever. Doesn't matter, I need to focus on Hecarim. So I walk over here and I start taking these 2 camps. Basically, if I hadn't gotten invaded, I would have just done Raptors, the full clear that I showed you earlier in the video. But now this is sort of the same thing, except for instead of doing my Raptor camp, I sort of hurried over here so I wouldn't get stopped on my invade. So we're just going to do these 2 camps at the same time. Hecarim has a lot of AoE and sustain, so doesn't hurt us too much to do that. And I'm just... Oh, one unfortunate thing about this is I don't have my E, so it's going to take me a little bit longer to actually kill this Scuttle Crab. So we see Jarvan, so I'm asking my mid laner to help me here because he's got full cryo. He EQs in, which is a huge mistake by him because, again, like I said earlier, I have 2 stacks of Rampage, and I'm just like really strong at this point. Unfortunately, I didn't see Mordekaiser and I didn't dodge his EQ there, so we actually end up trading 1-for-1, which was a pretty large mistake for me because I have a lot of movement speed and I really should never be getting hit by a skill shot like that. Like I had Ghost. Like that's one really strong thing about Hecarim is that you have so much movement speed from Ghost and Phase Rush and everything that it's really difficult for people to land skill shots on you, at least really telegraphed ones like that. But I just kind of didn't see that coming, so unfortunately I do die there and end up trading 1-for-1, but I am really far of the Jarvan still because I've been full clearing and he's been ganking and dying. This is a huge fight that ends up happening here. Now, again, I got those Rampage stacks. Once I have Rampage, I am incredibly strong. And I also rush Lucidity Boots, which give me bonus AD from my passive, and it gives me a ton of CDR, just making my Q that much more powerful in these team fights. And again, I've got those boots also, so I'm just really fast and able to move from target to target. Maybe I shouldn't have picked such a good game for this video, because it's going to be a little bit weird. I probably should have picked a less good game, but I think you can still learn a lot from this video. But yeah, we ended up picking up like 3 kills there, and we're really strong, which is great on Hecarim. Hecarim is a fantastic snowballing champion. If you get those kills early, it just speeds up your jungle clear and your objective taking, and you can really snowball games out of control. With that, we're actually going to be building Triforce this game, or Trinity Force. I always want to call it Triforce. I actually don't know what the correct name is, but we're going to be getting that. So we, again, 10% CDR, 10% CDR, or ability haste, whatever. We're incredibly strong right now, and we even have HP. So I'm just going to be full clearing down. The idea here is that, again, I clear incredibly fast. I'll full clear down to bot side, be level 6, and then we'll try to play for Dragon. Against Jarvan, really all Jarvan can do to get back in this game is try to gank a lot. So my teammates just need to make sure that they're not dying to ganks, and it should be pretty free. We spot him out on this ward that I think Orianna placed earlier. And we just sort of see what he's trying to do. We see, I believe, that he's going for Dragon here. Yeah, they're going for Dragon, and I really don't want to give it because, again, I'm insanely strong. But there is a fight happening mid here, so we get that kill. I Q the minions there so I can keep my Rampage stacks up. I don't think it ends up mattering. Yeah, I lose them before I get there. Unfortunately, they do get the Dragon, but I'm heading over here. I'm not 6 yet, but these fights are just so easy for Hecarim to clean up. And they actually just cannot get away from me because of my runes. So yeah, again, nothing really too fancy so far. Just basically me farming efficiently and just playing cleanup crew, which Hecarim does really well because you go around the map so fast. Now I go ahead and pick up this red because it's free. Unfortunately, we did end up giving up the Dragon because they had bot priority, which is a little bit frustrating. It's possible that I should have actually just done like Wolves Gromp and then tried to do Dragon, but I wouldn't have been level 6, so I'm not sure. We see that this guy's pushed up, so I just go after him. And I'm so strong, we just kill him. Maybe I should do free camera so we can sort of see the setup to these ganks a little bit more. But basically, he was pushed up in the mid lane, and as Hecarim, you have the ability to get behind people really fast and surprise them with your Ghost and your E. So we just ran up behind him and took him out. Now, I'm invading Jarvan here because he is only level 5 and he's in the mid lane, and I know that I can take this more or less for free. I'm 6-1-3 now. Good lord. I think I see him engaging on Orianna here. Yeah, I think I'm going to free cam this from now on. But I see them lined up here, so I go for the ult. I tried to hit Sylas with the ult, but unfortunately I missed it. I actually want to replay that again. Hecarim's R can be a bit tricky to land sometimes, and it's really easy to end up looking stupid. So you want to try to be very precise with where you target it at. So yeah, I target it right here. It looks like, I think I'm going to end up finishing right here, which is just barely out of range. It's possible I could have aimed at like, sort like right here would have been better. If I could have feared this Sylas, that would have been really free. But we end up getting him anyways, I think because of the Shen flash. And you'll notice, Shen does have to die though, unfortunately. You'll notice that after I come out of my R, while you're ulting, your E stops going on cooldown. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. So even though I channeled my R here, and then I still have my E, so I use my new position for my R to go behind the Sylas and push him towards my team, which gives us the ability to get that kill there. But again, if I had placed my R a little bit better, he would have died. So sometimes I tell people that Hecarim doesn't really take much skill, but he does have, his R can be a little bit tricky. He takes a little bit of skill. It's not that brain dead. He's actually so much fun though. Like if you're watching this and you're sort of on the fence about whether or not you should play Hecarim, I really do encourage people to take the time to learn this champion, because when you really do know how to play him, he's so fun to play, and he just has so much carry potential. And I would strongly recommend it to anyone. Again, I decided to go the Trinity Force. It is Trinity Force. Okay, I decided to go the Trinity Force build this game. This is a more heavy damage-oriented build. I think right now the tank build's actually better. I see them fighting here. I wasn't sure if I could E over that Jarvan ult, but apparently I can. They do almost get me here because of the CC, but I just deal so much damage. Unfortunately, we don't quite cancel him out of there. I didn't do anything crazy there, so I don't think there's much to talk about. Just obviously Eing onto the target that I thought I should prioritize, which was Jarvan, and then just spamming my Q. I think one sort of skill thing with Trinity Force is probably trying to look down like while you're fighting and seeing like how close your Trinity Force is to proccing. It's like a sheen, so like you use an ability and then it empowers your next auto attack. So managing that is probably a skill factor that I'm not very good at. I've been playing a lot of tank lately, so I don't really think about that. So maybe that's something I could have done better there. But now I want to fight to start here because I'm so strong and he's got like less than half HP. And I believe my ult's up now, yeah. I have a lot of ability haste. We see this fight happening here. This was a bit sad. I get the double ult, and I use the movement speed there to actually dodge that ability like I'm supposed to, and I just zoom out of there with Ghost. I tried to save Shen there, but unfortunately we couldn't. At this point, I'm like really low, and Mordekaiser's really bad. I guess he's not. They just buffed him this most recent patch, so he just does so much damage out of nowhere with that Q if he gets the isolated Q on you. By the way, fun fact, I just recently learned this. Apparently, if Mordekaiser's Q, like his hammer looking ability, hits you, it deals like only you. It has like an isolation bonus damage, which is weird and seems out of place for his champion. But yeah, I guess that's a thing. So I walked past all of these camps. I guess I felt like I needed to rush this, so Jarvan couldn't get it. Dragon is spawning. So we're definitely going to want to take this. I want to get all of these objectives. I'm so much stronger than Jarvan. Really just anyone in the game right now. But I want to make sure I'm taking advantage of that strength. Let's see how I play this one. Yeah, that's pretty free. I don't have ult, so yeah, there wasn't really much else to do. Just E at the low HP target. Your E counts as an auto attack, so it procs your Sheen as well from Trinity Force. So it just does an insane amount of damage. I probably E people for like over half their health, the squishy targets at least. For some reason they're trying to test this. They really cannot. It's so scary for the enemy team for me to have all of this gold. Like, can't think of anyone worse getting fed than oh, cool, a mistake. Cool, this is something we can actually talk about. Let me go back here. So I grab this, we see him, I think we get like a Oriental or something, I don't know. Yeah, I wanted to go for this. So what I want to do here is R behind him, fear him towards my teammates, and then E him towards them. But I missed the R. My R's are not very good, and my E ends up running out, so I don't actually get the charge. So I end up giving over a kill here, which is terrible, really bad for us. I think we actually all end up dying. They heal so much. But yeah, so you can sort of see what I was trying to do, or how you can get yourself in trouble on Hecarim, especially with this like sort of squishy or carry build. You got to be careful with those ults. You got to account for people's movement, like in the duration it takes for your R to actually go through. Just not really well played at all for me. The biggest thing was my E running out. Like, you'll see that I got that auto at the end, and I was hoping, like, with your E, it carries you away as well. That's another big part about it. Not only do you knock the enemy to where they don't want to be, but you can sort of push yourself to where you do want to be. But unfortunately, I didn't get the timing right on my RE combo, and I lost it. So just stuff to think about when you're playing. I think I'll fast forward while I'm dead and get myself back on the map. We end up not getting Dragon, which was kind of unfortunate. I had all of these camps up. But I had to go to this fight right here. And then, like, once we're here, we might as well do that. I think we made the right play, however weird it looks like. Just that was a mistake. And unfortunately, I ended up losing another Dragon, which is just insane for as far ahead as I am. But it's almost 14 minutes, so I take time to drop Herald there. I start moving over here because there's a fight, but it looks like it's not going to happen, and I want to make sure this Herald crashes. We want to get the plate gold. You want to make sure Herald crashes before 14 minutes, so you get the plate gold. I get a little bit lucky there, and I E out of Silas. Okay, I die anyways. Huh. I actually eat out of Silas's R. Fun fact, Silas is a bit of a counter to Hecarim in that he can steal your ult, and your ult has really high AP ratios for some reason. So he uses that very, very well, and AoE fear and just a ton of damage. So back-to-back deaths for me. Pretty unfortunate. Again, I'm not a... Actually, I don't think I've said this yet. I'm not a master Hecarim player. I do play him in high elo challenger games, but he's by no means... I've only played like maybe 20 games with this champ. It kind of sounds like LUT. You'd think I'd be better. But I do play him with a positive win rate. But yeah, I definitely have a lot to learn myself. I'm just here to give you guys the basics so you can play this champion for yourself. So we're Eing over here. I actually ult to save the Shen in that instance. And I'm assuming I keep going. As far as build goes, I went for the Sterax with this damage build. I think that's probably correct here. And we just run this guy down with our red buff. Slow. Let's see. This is kind of spoilers. I know there's a way to hide this, but I don't know how. I pressed like a ton of buttons, and I couldn't figure it out earlier. So if anyone in the comments knows how to hide the HUD, let me know. Where am I at? Oh, let's rewatch that. Okay, we caught Nautilus there. He cannot possibly get away from me. And probably just gonna do a lot of farming. I've not really done that much farming, which is weird because it's one of the best things that my champion does. But this is just a really weird game where there was always something to be done. I feel like we were constantly fighting this game. But yeah, you can see, I mean, honestly, these are probably really low level camps. Wow, those wolves were level 1. That's so funny that 15 minutes into the game my wolves were level 1. It's because Jarvan invaded me, so I went over here and he never did my wolves, so they just didn't get done. That's kind of crazy. I didn't notice that when I was playing. I guess I just thought I was really strong. Catch Jarvan here. I imagine we'll probably get him. We managed to get the timing there and cancel his EQ. Here, I decided to do what we call a limit test in the business. I was pretty sure I would win this fight. But don't you know it, I don't. I tried to R his Q, but I guess I'm not fast enough to do that. Yeah, pretty strong champion. I've got like 2 items, boots, and he's just got the 1, but I guess if he lands every single ability. I think I really needed to dodge his E. He honestly played that pretty well. I want to say she just dies here, yeah. All right, let's skip back to me. I bought anti-heal this game. A lot of times you'll go Thornmail, but that didn't seem great this game, so I decided to go for the damage one. Again, I was really fed as well. We definitely needed that. Let me back up so we can actually watch that fight. We definitely needed the anti-heal. They have so much healing on the team between Silas, Mordekaiser, Jarvan Conqueror. Yeah, actually really not much to watch here. We just kind of murder him. I'm incredibly strong in this game, despite dying a bunch of times and not really farming that efficiently. I've just gotten so many kills that XP and gold wise, I'm pretty far ahead this game. Silas has died 11 times. Good lord. Dragon spawning. We definitely want to make sure that we get this one. That would be nice. I must be I think I'm basing for my item. Yeah, I want to say dragon spawning really shortly here, and I want to be at dragon. It's pretty well played by the Jarvan. I think he's like masters solo queue. Rel gets out here, but yeah, I based real quick. Again, I'm playing Hecarim, so I'm really fast. I've got the boots, got celerity, everything. I can get over here pretty quickly, and I felt like I had time to buy my item. We've got a fight here. I'm so sorry. Let me back up. So I base, get my item. We come over here. It's a 4 versus 5, but I'm feeling relatively confident because I'm pretty big. So we decided to go for it anyways. I in on the Nautilus, which is kind of suspicious, but then I ult the Kaisa, which is our main target. Rel chains the CC, and I'm able to get this. Oh wait, now I'm hiding from Mordekaiser. Mordecai, I cannot survive the Mordekaiser. Fortunately, we end up winning this fight anyways. I honestly actually probably played this one not that well. I know, shocker. If you've made it this far in the video, me not playing that well. But yeah, I don't think we played that one too cleanly. So I actually want to rewatch this fight sort of in slow motion and at least show you guys what I think I should have done. So so they're jumping onto Rel here, and I'm a little bit worried that she's gonna die. I guess I don't have vision of anyone here. I just see Nautilus trying to clear this ward. So I E towards him, but then everybody appears out of fog, which was a bit unfortunate. But I R straight for the Kaisa, which I think was correct. And now I'm just running from Mordekaiser, trying to get away from him using my phase rush, but I end up getting trapped here, and I actually can't move, which is kind of weird. I ended up dying. So another team fight where I didn't do that much. I mean, I distracted the Mordekaiser, and I kept Kaisa out of the fight, which just left it to be Nautilus, Silas, and Jarvan over here, and they aren't that strong. Jarvan had already comboed, so we were able to win the fight. Even though I didn't actually kill anyone, I feel like I still, like, you know, did my job and was pretty useful in that team fight, and that's sort of what you want to do. There's basically two things. You can dive the enemy carries with your ult, RE combo, or you can try to get big fears. Those are two different things that you can do in a team fight to try to be useful. Kind of have to play it by ear. But we're gonna spawn top side here and just start doing our clear. And we'll just catch this wave up here. We did get the dragon. Got a couple kills as well. Hecarim can shove the waves, unsurprisingly, pretty quickly with his Q. I want to say they've actually nerfed his Q damage to minions. But Mordekaiser ends up showing his face here, and we can't fight him as we've learned and tried many times. We've got Baron spawning, but everybody's low, so that's not going to happen, and we're just going to end up catching this wave again. It's really important to catch waves. maybe a quick side tangent here, but I believe cannon waves are worth like 2.5. I don't know if this still holds true, but at one point this was a fun fact. The cannon waves are worth like 2.5 times as much as like a regular camp is in terms of XP and gold. So you don't want to let waves crash like that. Really, really a terrible thing to do. That's something a little trick that you can use in sort of lower elos like gold, plat, whatever. Just like catching those waves when they're bouncing and nobody's there too. You can really put yourself like levels ahead of the enemy team. I believe, because I have an item here. I decided to go QSS. My team suggested it to me. I'm pretty much the most useful team member that we have, and if I get Mordalted, it's just kind of really, really bad for us. So I decided to grab that, and Rel is just sort of 2v1 there. But we use Sivir ult plus Hecarim to engage like really far here, and Rel also lands some abilities, so we get that free pick. We might probably just go for Baron here. Having decisive Baron calls is really important. Another tip to climbing. A lot of people in lower MMRs don't do this very well, which is make Baron calls. Mord ends up trying to kill Orianna here, and I think we just grab him. Jarvan goes as well. I'm just Eing, nothing to really commentate too much on here. If he had actually landed the EQ over the wall, I would have R'd to chase him, ulted over the wall to chase him. Tried to go for the double ult, but Kai'Sa gets away. Hecarim steals my ult. There's the counter pick sort of coming into play. Fortunately, I almost saved him with my E, but we're not able to. I guess Shen didn't have ult or TP, so this was just like not super balanced. But I'm able to chase this guy down because Hecarim's pretty OP with red buff slows and whatnot. But yeah, we survived till the very end. Just E, Qing, Ring, chasing people down. If you have the stats to back it up, this champion is like really unkillable and a huge monster in team fights. And I have the stats this game because I happen to get like a ton of kills, but remember, like, just farming really, really efficiently is very, very powerful and not something to be to shy away from. Obviously, you also have like really great ganks with your E movement speed, and the fact that you rush boots. But like, don't be afraid to like play for those ganks too. But just know that like just power farming, especially in the early game, is really, really powerful on this champion. So we're gonna reset and finish off our Chem Punk Chainsword. For every item that we build, I want to say that this gives us like, yeah, it gives us like 380, 3 ability haste, 3 movement speed now, which is pretty cool. A lot better than it used to be. They just buffed that or changed it, whatever you want to call it. And we are rushing Baron? No, I think we're going for this Nautilus. He's gotten caught quite a few times. Jarvan EQ's in, which is just kind of a death sentence for him. This fight should be really free. I'm holding my R right now in case like Kai'Sa ults away or something and I can use it on her. It wasn't really any point that I needed to use it there. I don't know if Silas has flash or not. Actually, no, I should know he doesn't have flash. So I probably actually could have R'd there at some point. But we ended up winning the team fight. Again, I'm not doing anything too crazy. Like, this is why a lot of people say this champ's kind of brain dead, because you kind of just E and Q at people on cooldown, and like, that's it. The only thing that's really hard about this champion is your ER combo, and I would recommend just hopping into a practice tool and using that over and over again and trying to figure that out. Because that's pretty much it. There's really not much else harder. The rest is just like making decision making, and that's like pretty much it, really. It's just decision making on who to prioritize, where to go, where to farm, stuff like that. But if you can get that down, you can easily climb with this champion. He's very, very strong, and again, a lot of fun. And I think being fun to play is important as well. Obviously, that is subjective, though. So I'm trying to get over here. Again, Hecarim very fast. I used my ghost a little bit earlier to get here faster. I immediately go for Kai'Sa. I'm playing the carry build. I just want to kill the carries. We get the double fear. And I'm so fast. Run this guy down. I can't believe how much damage I'm doing. Got the quadra kill. I think Oriana took the very first kill. My team goes for the end. I'm actually gonna speed this up. We were on comms, by the way. This is like a high elo flex queue game, and nobody called for us to end the game here, so I was just like, I don't know, I'll go get dragon. I guess I forgot, or just didn't realize that we could end there. I think we probably could have if I was there. I am a lot of the damage, even though I had no mana. I don't know, maybe not. But I'll slow it down now. They start fighting. I'm jumping in, doing Hecarim things. I think I missed my ult there. It's fine, the game's over. And so is this over-explain. Again, I'm not the best Hecarim player in the world, but you kind of don't need to be. This champ is relatively simple, a ton of fun. He's very, very strong right now, so I recommend anybody who wants to play him, you know, give him a shot, try him out in the practice tool, try out the clear, figure it out, because he's definitely worth learning. And yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please leave a comment, subscribe, like the video. Yeah, all that stuff really helps me out a lot. And also consider following me on Twitch. I'll put the link in the description below and in the comments. And yeah, let me know who you want to see next.